To bless your neighbor, Jesus invites you to begin with prayer. Why do we always begin with prayer? Do we have an obligation to pray for others? Perhaps you don't feel a responsibility or desire to share your faith with others. In everything we do, from being peacemakers to sharing the good news, we need to begin with prayer. The Word tells us that whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. Beginning with prayer recognizes that we need God's presence to extend God's blessing. We will deeply bless others to the extent that we rely on the Holy Spirit to minister through us. Our neighbor is seeking Jesus. Think about the people around you who do not know God or have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Think about the people who are going through difficult or challenging times. Think about those who need to be known or feel loved. Many people are seeking Jesus, but sometimes fear or the distractions of the world bind us, preventing us from taking the first step. The Holy Spirit helps us overcome our fear. God gave us the mission and calls us to participate in His work of reaching others personally, to connect with others face to face and have meaningful conversations. How do we do it? We begin with prayer for ourselves and for the world. So as we listen to the Holy Spirit, we add names to our list and pray for them. That is why it is so important to begin with prayer. If you're afraid to speak with others about Jesus, you should ask for the Holy Spirit's direction so that you can share God's love without fear or worry. If you don't have the words to say to that person, you should ask for the direction of the Holy Spirit. Sometimes just being present with the person is what he or she may need at the time. Who will you rise up for? Will it be your neighbor, friend, relative, or a colleague? Who has God placed around you for you to bless? Before eating with them, before speaking with them, serving them, helping them, and sharing the gospel with them, Jesus first calls us to pray for them. Prayer aligns our hearts with the heart of God. Prayer prepares us to have a heart for our neighbor and to see our neighbor through the eyes of God. What did we cover today? To begin with prayer, give it to God first. As a Sea of Encourager, your first step is to pray. Pray that God will guide you in identifying the person or people He wants you to invest in, and commit to having a series of meaningful conversations for as long as it takes. When you pray, ask God to show you how you can share His love with those people. I invite you to ask a question. How am I going to bless that person today? Who are you going to eat with? Who are you going to serve? With whom are you going to talk to about Jesus? Who will you share the table with? Before doing any of these things, begin with prayer. Have you taken the next step? If you haven't already done so, scan the QR code and sign up to be a Sea of Encourager. A Sea of Encourager is someone who commits to the Lord to having a series of meaningful conversations with the same person at least once a month for as long as it takes. The movement has begun. The time is now. Who will you rise up for? Sea of Encouragers are committed to living the vision. Sign up so we can give you resources and a community to support your lifestyle as a Sea of Encourager. Take the next step.